as I was saying, Joy Taylor, every dog has its day. And since I'm a big dog, I've got 2 days. Okay. So now.
You just called yourself a dog?
Yeah, I'm a dog. Yeah, I'm a big dog, a big one.
Kevin Durant is 6'11", who can pull up from 40. Okay. This brother is on that level. I'm talking about offensively.
Do you think you're better than Jarrell Revis is right now?
I'm better than you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Lowdown Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Brown. As always, this is episode 63, and I'm feeling really good. It is currently 3 a.m., just like Coach Boone, and remember the Titans.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Wake up, gentlemen. It's late. It's 3 a.m. in the morning.
Okay, let's not get carried away now. I just had to put that out there. But yeah, the reason why I'm recording this late is because, again, I have to find time to record. I've been extremely busy with work and everything. And like I said, I enjoy this podcast just as much as I enjoy going to work. So I will find time to upload these episodes so you guys can listen and enjoy yourselves. So it's been one heck of a weekend. It is currently Monday, March 9th, when this episode will be uploaded. It really is March 9th when I'm recording this too, but you guys get mixed up with the times and stuff. So we sprang forward. So there's that. And since it's Monday, I'm going to be recapping the weekend with the NBA and some of the XFL. So this will be pretty interesting for you basketball and football fans out there. And starting off, man, I just wanted to talk about the biggest game yet out of all of the games that happened this past weekend, and that was definitely the Lakers and the LA Clippers. And finally, the LA Lakers defeated the LA Clippers for the first time. That's the only, actually, as a matter of fact, the Clippers were the only team to defeat the LA Lakers 2 times. There's never been another team out of the entire season that's defeated LA twice. And the Clippers did that to them, and the LA Lakers finally got a chance to get their revenge. And LeBron definitely outplayed Kawhi Leonard for the first time this season. So LeBron has stepped it up. He finished with 28 points, 9 assists, and 7 rebounds. They won 112-103, and it became very crucial towards the end. LeBron stepped it up during the last 2 minutes of the game, and you saw AD also had a great game, had 30 points. So both guys stepped it up, and it was just a thriller matchup. It really was. I mean, I'm just glad to see that the Lakers finally got a chance to rebound. And these past 2 games, LeBron James, this is probably the best weekend he's had all season. I mean, he dominated the Milwaukee Bucks, definitely put the clamps on Giannis Antetokounmpo, and also put the clamps on Kawhi Leonard. So props to LeBron being 35 years old and still playing like this. So that's proof. That proves my point that LeBron is the greatest athlete out of any sport that I've seen in my generation, pretty much. This guy's a generational talent by far. There's really no like argument with that at all. So that's why I just wanted to put that out there. I may not be the biggest LeBron James fan there is, but I just definitely have to give him credit because he's definitely been stepping it up. But there's that. But again, the Lakers clinched. See, I don't know if you guys paid attention, but the Lakers actually clinched a playoff spot. They're the only team as of now in the West, according to the standings, that has clinched a spot in the playoffs. So that's really good for them. But when you look at the Eastern Conference, both the Milwaukee Bucks and the Toronto Raptors already clinched a spot. But there's a lot of things I wanted to cover besides the Lakers and the Clippers game. I mean, there's been a lot of games that's happened. And I also want to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder because they're going to be trending too. And I'm going to get to that in a second. And for you Houston Rockets fans out there, bear with me. You guys are not going to like what I'm going to say about you guys. It's going to be pretty funny, but I'm going to have to say it, man. I'm going to have to say it just like Tory Lanez in 2015. But there's that. But as far as the standings go, like I said, I predicted this, and several sports writers that I spoke to in the past about these games and about the standings for the West and the East, we also predicted the same thing, that basically the 5th, 6th, and 7th seed are going to be playing hot potato with each other for the rest of the season. I mean, they're all within 1 game apart. It's really close, but I really do solemnly believe the Oklahoma City Thunder can hold on to that 5th seed spot if they continue the way they've been playing, and if Chris Paul continues to lead the team like he's supposed to. And to see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander still step it up. I mean, this guy's he's young, coming from L.A., and he's really stepped it up, showing his pure dominance with the team besides Chris Paul. I mean, they got a great supporting cast. The Thunder have a bright future ahead of them. I've been saying this over and over again, but I did not believe the Thunder were going to play like they were this season. Like during the summertime, we all thought it was over. We thought it was over like Drake back in 2010, but it didn't seem that way. Sam Presti is definitely a GOAT for that. And it's just to see what he's done and to see how well these players have been playing. I mean, also shout out to props to Billy Donovan for that. It's amazing. It's amazing. But anyway, back to what I was talking about with the Lakers. I'm sorry I had to throw that in there because, like I said, I told you guys that the Oklahoma City Thunder is my favorite team. So just seeing what they're doing now, the Lakers, I mean, just off this game, they might have, I wouldn't say it's confirmed, but they might have made their biggest statement yet all season, because knowing that they clinched a spot and to see how they dominated these crucial games against the Clippers and the Bucks really shows you something. I mean, there's not that much time left until the playoffs. It's already March, right? So we got about a month and some change until the playoffs start in the NBA. So this is the home stretch. This is the home stretch. So teams, this is where teams really need to turn it up a little bit. They need to turn it up a notch. There's teams that have not been stepping up. There's teams that have been, for example, there's teams that have been really just losing it, and that goes for the Houston Rockets. So that goes right to my point. The Houston Rockets have not been playing well at all. It seems like teams have figured out the small ball method that they've been utilizing, because they go from a 5-game winning streak to now a 4-game losing streak. And this is the thing: how do you get back-to-back losses to losing teams? You lose to the Charlotte Hornets, who are not even close to making the playoffs, and then you also lose to the Orlando Magic. I mean, they're the 8th seed in the East, but they only have 29 wins, for crying out loud. Like, the Rockets have been playing poor. I mean, they start off, I don't know, it might be a virus or something like that. Not the coronavirus. This has nothing to do with the coronavirus, by the way. It's like this team is just having the negative virus, whatever. I just made that up just now. I mean, I couldn't think of any other way to explain it. But you go from losing to the Knicks. And now the Clippers, I'll give them that. I'll give the Clippers that, because the Clippers is one of the top teams. They're the second best team in the Western Conference, so I'll give them that. But how do you have back losses to teams like the Hornets and the Magic? Wait, what's happening? And then you get smoked by the Magic at home. What is going on here, man? What is going on? I don't understand. I don't understand. Maybe it's just a little hump they're going to have to get over, because I just can't see the Rockets playing like this for the rest of the season, man. It doesn't make any sense at all. Like, you lose by double-digit points. Like, I didn't even mention that. So not only did they get smoked, lose 4 games straight, they lose by double digits to 2 losing record teams. They better not do this. They better not do this tomorrow at all. They're playing Minnesota. Minnesota's another team that's mediocre. They better not do this, because I don't understand what the deal is with them. It just doesn't make any sense. The Rockets have just been playing just sloppy. I don't know what's going on. I really feel bad for Russell Westbrook, because I really thought Russell Westbrook had a shot. I mean, it's not over yet. These guys are still going to the playoffs, but I don't know, man. If they keep playing like this, I do not see them getting past the first round. I mean, I know it might be a little bit early to say that, but it's not even guaranteed that these guys can have any blowout wins for the rest of the season. I mean, it's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed for any team, really. I mean, this is the NBA. It's professional basketball. So you expect. So don't be surprised if you see losing record teams just jump on you, or any team that's actually, you know, a high caliber team like the Lakers. Now, I don't see the Lakers losing to teams like that. It seems like LeBron and AD and that entire staff and that entire supporting cast is on a mission. So I do not see them losing to any losing record teams. Now is the worst time to start doing that. The Rockets had momentum and they lose it. That doesn't make it. See, you lose it to Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City just took the Rockets' spot. Oklahoma City's now in the 5th seed. They have 40 wins. So Oklahoma City, this is what happened. So basically, I'm going to go off this tweet I saw off of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Shout out to you. So this is what he tweets, and I quote, the Thunder traded their 3 best players in the offseason. They got 8 first-round picks, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Hamidou Gallo, and CP3. So they are 64 games in. They're ahead of the Rockets in the standings. They also sit 3 games behind the Clippers. And this is a quoted tweet. So under that is a clip of that's not his name. I can't think of his name. No, Spice Adams, all right? Spice Adams. I got mixed up. Spice Adams used to play for the Chicago Bears, and now he's like a comedian. I don't know. He's like a comedian now, where he's known for these memes. Like, he's basically the guy, that guy. So there's a clip of him just laughing in his van, just cracking up, and he falls out of his chair. So basically, laugh out loud, right? That's laugh out loud at the Houston Rockets. Like, you guys let the Thunder take your spot and get 40 wins before y'all. I see that as a plus. And that leads me to talking about the Thunder, because Oklahoma City is on a 3-game winning streak, as a matter of fact. And to see how effective Chris Paul's been playing. And here's the thing. They played against the Boston Celtics. And the Boston Celtics are one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. And here they are. And not only did they defeat Boston, they defeated Boston at Boston. So that tells you something of how dangerous Oklahoma City can be. They're a dark horse. I did not see, like I said before, nobody saw it coming, and it's just a dream come true to me. It's a dream come true. I'm really happy to see it, and it just looks like, for example, the Celtics are the third best team in the East right now, and they lose to the Thunder at home. So the Thunder, 3-game winning streak, they are 8-2 in the last 10 games. The Rockets, on the other hand, are 6-4, lost 4 straight. The Mavericks are just not completely, but the Mavericks are a little bit behind them. They have 2 more losses than the Rockets do. So like I said, I feel like the Thunder can win that battle between all 3 of those teams I just mentioned. I mean, it's definitely possible. Oklahoma City doesn't have a difficult schedule for the rest of the season. They defeated the Houston Rockets every single time. The Rockets didn't even get 1 win against these guys this season. And it's just a sight to see. I mean, Rockets fans should be worried right now. They should be worried because small ball doesn't cut it like OT Genesis. So I can't see, like I said earlier, I can't see the Rockets making it past the first seed not first seed, but the first round in the playoffs. And that's my hot take for that. I just don't see it. I mean, when teams start to figure out your small ball methods, what can you do? You can't win in the paint. If you can't win in the paint, how do you expect to win in the playoffs? And these guys are struggling in the paint. It's just simple as that. But anyway, so my predictions for the rest of the season. Now, if you look at the standings, I do see the Bucks. I mean, they're so far ahead of everybody else in the East. The Bucks are definitely going to maintain that first seed. But as far as the playoffs go, it depends on who they play in the first round, because I feel like the Raptors and the Celtics have a capability to take down the Bucks in the playoffs. And I don't know about Philadelphia. I don't know about Indiana. I don't know about those teams. But I definitely do see the Raptors and the Celtics being the top threats for the Bucks. But since they're the first seed and since they're going to maintain it, that's not going to happen. So they're going to be playing, the Magic, because I don't see the Wizards stepping up. They're not going. No, there's no way the Wizards are going to the playoffs. I feel sorry for Bradley Beal, but that's not happening. But the Magic and the Bucks, that's probably a sweep. All right, if it stays that way. So the Bucks will make it past the first round for sure. They definitely they have a high possibility of going all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, but it depends on who they play then. So I can't make any predictions. It's way, way, way too early for that. Now, as far as the West goes, I have no clue. I think the Lakers are going to continue to hold on or maintain that first seed because they're about 6 games or 6.5 games ahead of the second seed, which is the Clippers. I don't see anybody catching up to that. I mean, you're going to have to go on a big, big time winning streak. And since we're in the last home stretch right now in the NBA regular season, expect teams to dominate. Expect teams who are already on top to dominate for the rest of the season because they can't slow down. They can't afford it. They want to make sure they earn a good spot in the playoffs so they can try to advance past the first round. So, yeah, we're in the home stretch. So we're going to see you're going to see the ratings increase too. You're definitely going to see the ratings increase. So expect that as well. But as far as the West, I do see the Lakers staying there. Now, between the Clippers, the Nuggets, and the Jazz, that's tough, man. That's really tough because it's really close. They're only like within a game and a half to 2 games apart between those 3 teams. Now, the 5th, 6th, and 7th, already talked about them. So the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th is going to be pretty tough. I think the Clippers have a high possibility of maintaining that. Now, when it comes to the Jazz and the Nuggets, I have no idea. Both teams have been playing fairly well, especially the Jazz. The Jazz they're on a 5-game winning streak. And so the teams the teams in the playoffs that are in playoff contention that have winning streaks is the Thunder, the Jazz, and the Lakers. 3 or more wins. Now, everybody else has lost at least between 1 to 4 games in playoff contention. So the Nuggets, though, another thing, Nuggets have been struggling against some teams that are not as top tier. And they lost to the Cavaliers, as a matter of fact. That doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, I don't understand. Like I said, these teams that are basically, this might sound a little bit old school, but whenever I'm seeing these losing teams defeat these teams with winning records that are in playoff contention, they got nothing to lose. I mean, think about it. They have nothing to lose. They're not going to the playoffs. They all know they're not. So they might as well give it their all. There's not that much time left in the regular season. They're already, 64 games in, and there's 82 regular season games. So there's less than 20 games left of the season. So these guys need to finish this last home stretch. It's like running that last 100-meter dash in the 400. Either you got the gas to finish or you don't have the gas. You either run out of gas or you maintain that gas until you cross the finish line. And a lot of these teams, I don't see them letting up. Some of them might speed up in that last 100-meter dash. So, or not dash, but that last 100 meters of a distance for the 400. So, again, and the teams I wanted to say that have that extra gear to them, I'm going to start off with the West. LA Lakers, LA Clippers, Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Utah Jazz. Those are my top teams right there that have that last home stretch and are willing to push it and are willing to get, okay, if there's 20 games left, or not under 20 games left, 18 games left, I can see them winning roughly 11 or more. At least 11 games for the rest of the season from that. Now for the East, the Bucks, obviously, I see the Raptors doing the same thing. I see the Celtics doing the same thing. Now, the Heat is kind of tough. It's kind of tough. I mean, they're 2.5 games ahead of the 5th seed, as a matter of fact, because the Miami Heat right now are sitting in the 4th seed, right behind Boston. So that's right there is a key indicator that Miami could be a potential dark horse in the playoffs. That's another hot take, and here's why. Because both Jimmy Butler and his supporting cast, they've been playing pretty well. I mean, Jimmy Butler's been averaging, 20 points per game, averaging 6 assists a game, and then Bam Adebayo, another guy that was made his first All-Star appearance, is playing pretty well. He has the highest field goal percentage on the team. So, again, Jimmy Butler has a decent supporting cast with him. The Heat is nowhere as near as popular as they used to be, but the fact that they are also in playoff contention, they can be a potential dark horse in the East. So that's why. That was, I just yawned. That was stupid. I mean, it's 3 a.m. again. So I'm not even going to edit that out. That's pretty funny. If you guys laugh at that, oh well. Almost made me lose my train of thought from that, but I do have my notes in front of me, so don't worry about that. But yeah, again, the Miami Heat, I feel like they have what it takes to continue to maintain that 4th seed spot, because unless the Pacers go on a major winning streak, they already won 2 straight. They defeated Dallas, and that's another thing. Both Dallas and Houston have been inconsistent lately. Now, Oklahoma City, on the other hand, has been fairly consistent. That's what separates the Thunder, as of now, from the Rockets and the Mavs. I know I'm going all over the place because I told you it's 3 a.m. I do have my notes in front of me, but there's a lot of, sometimes when I come up with a point, it just reminds me of something else I want to say. And that's pretty much off the dome right there when it comes to that. But, again, man, I just don't understand. Now, there's been, especially when you look at the scoreboard, there was actually a lot of teams that were mediocre. As a matter of fact, they got some wins besides the Rockets losing to the Magic or other teams, like, for example, as a matter of fact, the Warriors won today. The Warriors, they sure did. So that's another thing that doesn't make any sense to see that. Pretty embarrassing, right? I mean, the Pacers are a decent team, and Dallas seems like I said, they've been inconsistent. They've been coming in and out of injury. Spurs lose to the Cavs. That's another thing. Spurs lost to the Cavs. Pretty embarrassing. The Knicks also defeated the Pistons, but they both have the same record, so also mediocre. Now, Raptors and Kings won. So that's a scoreboard from Sunday. But if you want to look at Friday's games, which was pretty entertaining, because I wanted to talk about it on Friday, but I didn't get a chance to. But I forgot to bring this up. So I know it's a little bit off topic, but, the Hawks and the Wizards played each other on Friday night. Trae Young didn't even play. Trae Young didn't play due to flu-like symptoms. People were making jokes saying that he had the coronavirus, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, you hate to see it. But, again, there's been a lot of entertaining games this past weekend. I'm hoping that next weekend is going to be even more. There's probably going to be more heat involved because, again, the closer you get to the playoffs, the more intense it gets, and the harder teams are going to play, and the harder players are going to play. And now players need to be a little bit careful because you don't want to get too injured, especially you want to have suffer any injuries. Like Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis have been in and out of injury all season. That's the main reason why they've been inconsistent, because when you have the two of the best players on the team go in and out of injury, it can kind of ruin the flow of the team. But the fact that they're still in playoff contention shows you how dangerous the Mavericks could possibly be. So I also wanted to bring that up. And, again, I'm just looking forward to it. So there's pretty much, well, as a matter of fact, I almost ended the NBA talk and went straight to the XFL. But as a matter of fact, I wanted to talk about the MVP race. So right now, it's in between Giannis Antetokounmpo, LeBron James. Those two guys have been the top names that have been basically used on radio, print media, local TV, anybody that's covering the NBA from any sports media source. All I've been hearing is both LeBron James and Giannis Antetokounmpo battling for MVP. James Harden has been he's been inconsistent lately. He's still the leading scorer in the NBA, averaging 34 points per game, but he hasn't been playing as well. Westbrook's been carrying that team lately, and it looks like the success. Another hot take. It looks like the success of the Houston Rockets will be weighed on mainly Russell Westbrook's shoulders, because Russell Westbrook's been the only player that's been more consistent than any other star player on that team. Harden, on the other hand, hasn't been. So therefore, he doesn't deserve to be considered in the MVP race. So LeBron hasn't won an MVP in a while. I could see him potentially winning another one. And speaking of LeBron James, so there's been a few tweets on NBA Twitter, as a matter of fact. So if you type in hashtag NBA Twitter, you'll see a lot of LeBron GOAT statements. And the number one GOAT statement I heard after this win was, I'm not going to call him out, but this guy basically tweeted out that the LA Lakers, if they win a championship this summer, then he considered LeBron James the GOAT, the greatest of all time, because if he were to win with the Lakers, that's 3 teams in his career, which is his career. That's 3 teams that he led to a championship win. Everybody knows they led the Heat to a championship win. Everybody knows they led the Cavaliers to a championship win. And now if he were to lead the Lakers to a championship win, who knows? I mean, I kind of see what he's saying, but there's a lot more to it than that. But if you look at all the milestones LeBron is surpassing, that definitely puts him in contention for the greatest of all time. I mean, most people are going to say Michael Jordan. Most people are going to say mainly him. And some people even put Kobe Bryant as the best player in the league. And no disrespect to that man at all, or any of these guys. But I kind of see where this guy is coming from when he mentioned LeBron being the GOAT if he were to win a championship this year. But again, let's not get carried away. There's still 18 games left of the season, the regular season, and they're going to have to maintain that intensity and bring it during the playoffs. So there you go. So that might be too much of an early prediction, but I really do believe LeBron has what it takes to actually get to that level and possibly be the greatest player of all time. But I do not want to disrespect Michael Jordan at all. So I'll just leave it as it is, and there's that. So that'll conclude my talk with the NBA, and I'll go ahead and move on with some of the XFL standings. So I don't know if you guys have been watching a lot of XFL, but this was week 5 that just passed. Well, actually, no, it wasn't week 5. I am tripping. No, I'm not tripping. It was week 5. See, I'm getting so mixed up what day it is. I've been working so much. But yeah, after week 5, it looks like, again, I did not see this coming. Both me and Troy McClain, when we previewed this last month, we assumed that Dallas Renegades, well, not just us, the media, as a matter of fact. ESPN predicted, and multiple other sources predicted the Dallas Renegades to be the top team in the XFL West, and the XFL East, the Tampa Bay Vipers. And look how wrong we are. So if you look at the standings, the Vipers have the worst record. Well, both the Vipers and the Seattle Dragons have the worst records in the league. They're 1-4. Now, if you look at the best team, really overall, is the Houston Roughnecks. They still have yet to lose a game. I thought they were going to lose to the Dragons. The Dragons were forcing a lot of turnovers. Well, not the Dragons, but the Roughnecks were forcing a lot of turnovers. And yet, again, the Roughnecks did a great job pushing through it. I mean, they have short-term memory for every mistake they make. They bring a lot of intensity, and most fans didn't expect the Roughnecks to be where they're at right now. And the way they're playing, they could be the champions this year. I mean, the championship is going to be in Houston, for crying out loud. I mean, the Roughnecks might win the championship. They have the best chance. They've been dominant over every team they faced so far, and except for the Dallas Renegades. The Renegades played them very, very close. And then what surprised me was that the Renegades, when they played the Roughnecks, Landry Jones goes down, gets hurt. He's going to be out for at least 2 weeks from his knee. And they brought in their backup quarterback. And, I mean, he just butchered. It just didn't look like himself. I mean, he didn't get the job done. And plus, when Landry Jones was playing, he turned the ball over a lot. Threw a lot of interceptions in one game. And of course, if you're turning the ball over twice as much as your opponent, expect them to win. No ifs, no ands, no buts. And the fact that the Renegades played them tough shows you that this ain't over yet. I can see the Renegades going against, well, if you look at the schedule, I can see the Renegades potentially if they have a rematch before the playoffs start, then I think the Renegades could possibly or most likely defeat the Roughnecks at the end of the season. And they will be playing each other again. They will meet again on April 2nd, as a matter of fact, on a Thursday night. Wow. Didn't think any XFL games will be on a Thursday night. And it'll be at Houston that second time. it's going to be hard to beat a team twice. The Renegades, chances are Landry Jones will be back by then because that's a month from now. But that's if he doesn't turn the ball over. He might have lost the starting position. I mean, I don't know. There's not that much intel on these teams right now. You can't really count on ESPN covering all of it. But, again, that's what I like about the XFL. What I like about the XFL is it's just unfiltered. It's just a lot of funny interviews that happen on the sideline. And, oh, man, it's just pure comedy. It's pure entertainment. I think at the rate they're going, I mean, they've been averaging, at least 1 million views, between 700,000, 800,000 to over 1 million views, up to 2 million views, really, in ratings every weekend. So I can see the XFL coming back next year. I don't see them just destroying. Like, that wouldn't make any sense. You know how ridiculous that sounds for a football league in the XFL. They learned from, hopefully, well, you would think that they learned from the flaws back in 2001, and then it did. The XFL this year looks completely different. The rules look different. The fans look different. I mean, this is almost 20 years ago, during their inaugural season. But that would be completely absurd for them to cancel the XFL again. What are we going to do? Wait another 19 years for it to come back? No. Why waste all that money and put in all that effort just to have one season? There's no way. You got to expect them to come back. All right. But the biggest headline that I noticed from the XFL was that Cardale Jones, who a lot of you guys don't know who he is, he was the third string quarterback for the Ohio State Buckeyes at least 6 years ago, back in the day. And then he led the Ohio State Buckeyes to a national championship. And it was actually during the first college football playoff season. And he led them to a championship, gets drafted by the Buffalo Bills, didn't really have a good NFL career, so they bumped him down to the XFL. And he's a starting quarterback for the DC Defenders. And he got benched. He got benched this past Sunday against the St. Louis Battlehawks. Luckily, they were able to win, but they benched him because he threw his 7th pick of the season. Coaches don't want that, buddy. I mean, see, that's the thing. If you're a true football fan, if you're a quarterback and you're throwing interceptions, you might lose your job. That's equivalent to going to work every day. Say you work at a desk job. Say you work for State Farm Insurance. That's like you not conducting enough sales. That's like you not being able to assist customers with their insurance. So when you do something like that and you fail over and over again, you're going to lose your job eventually, right? If you continue to make mistakes after your boss or your coach continues to try to correct you and try to help you out, but if you keep repeating the same mistakes over and over and over again, that disrupts the flow of your coworkers or your teammates, and therefore you're going to get benched or you're going to get fired or whatever it is. So you don't want to do that, not one bit. But when you look at Week 5, I feel like it was, the Renegades again, inconsistent, haven't been playing well. They lost 30-12 to the New York Guardians. That's not good at all. So that's why it's not wise to base your confidence in these predictions. A lot of these predictions just don't mean jack crap unless you watch the game actually happen. But the beauty of predictions keeps your anxiety up, and it allows you to think about what the possible outcome is, but you never know at all. That's what I like about sports, is you can't predict the future one bit, and you don't know what to expect. You don't know how the game's going to play out. You don't know how any of it's going to work. That's what keeps it entertaining. That's what draws the viewers. That's what maintains the large amount of fans per team. So the XFL, I think they're doing an excellent job right now, keeping people informed. I mean, they're doing a good job broadcasting everything on either ESPN or Fox Sports or FS1. They're doing an excellent job. They're doing an excellent job trying to generate ratings. And I'm just looking forward to seeing how, we're already halfway through the season. Whoa! I'm just now realizing that. I've been talking about the XFL for a few minutes now, and I'm just now realizing that they're halfway through the season. I forgot. That's a 10-week schedule before the playoffs start. I talked about that with Troy McClain. How the heck did I forget that? So they're entering the second half of the season. They're going to have to step it up too. But I just wish there was a little bit more notes and intel on these teams. It's just not enough. ESPN doesn't have enough to cover. They just have articles out, and then the XFL website is your number one go-to source. So for you XFL fans, try to look for your, stats and your rosters and everything on the XFL website. All you got to do is type in XFL.com and you'll be right there. Or right there, just like Chingy back in 2003. I like it when you do it right there. Okay, I'm not going to sing the song because that's just completely throwing me off the game and throwing me off of what I'm talking about. But like I said, I think the Roughnecks are the best team right now. They have the best shot of winning, but you never know. Upsets happen all the time. So if they get a little bit too cocky, expect them to lose a few games for the rest of the season, expect them to lose at least 1 or 2 games. But in the playoffs, think about it. Say you have an undefeated record regular season record, and you go to playoffs and you get your butt whooped. It's like you did all that work just to get whooped. So I don't think the Roughnecks are going to have that type of mindset of like winning out and then just, relaxing and saying that they're the best team and get a little bit too ahead of themselves and then end up embarrassing themselves in the playoffs and losing. Again, I'm making a lot of predictions. It's way too early. Plenty of season left. And it just seems like, here's the thing. It just seems like it's just, I don't know, the vibe I get from the Roughnecks. I mean, maybe because I'm biased. I'm not a Houston sports fan, but it's going to be really hard for them to be undefeated. I mean, the XFL has professional football players. This ain't no ordinary football league or semi-pro league that you join where a bunch of, I don't want to be mean. So where you join with a bunch of players that are not as talented as, the professional or the collegiate level. So, or even the high school level in some states, especially Texas. So the XFL, again, they're doing a great job. And again, it's going to be really, the reason why I think it's really hard to be undefeated because, like I said, these are professional players. And the last time you've seen a perfect season in a professional level for football, well, yeah, in the NFL was the 2007 season where the New England Patriots went 16-0 and eventually blew it in the Super Bowl in the biggest game. So you don't want the Rockets to end, not the Rockets, why am I getting so mixed up? Again, it's past 3 a.m. You wouldn't want the Roughnecks to pull, you wouldn't want them to pull anything like that. You wouldn't want them to pull a 2007 New England schedule. And if they do pull it, that'll be pretty funny. I don't think it's funny because, like I said, I do not enjoy, Houston sports teams. That's just my opinion, and I don't think anybody can change that. Well, I don't think. I know for a fact nobody can take that away from me. I mean, I may have been raised in the Houston area, but there's really no correlation between where you're from. Well, it kind of is, but like to each their own. I'll just put it that way. So just because you're from somewhere doesn't mean you necessarily have to like their sports teams. For example, if you're from Chicago, that doesn't force you to. I mean, you don't have to. Obviously, you're not forced to become a fan of the Bulls. If you're a fan of the Nuggets and you move to Chicago, yeah, stick with it. Stick with it unless you deep down want to change your mind. Don't let somebody else change your mind. So I'll just put it that way. But as far as the XFL goes, again, I think I can't really make any predictions, but I told you about the Roughnecks. I told you that it's going to be a tough battle between the Defenders and other teams that are right behind that because if you look at the standings, it just looks like the Roughnecks have been just extremely dominant on both sides of the ball. I mean, there's been turnovers here and there, but they are a second half team. I really thought Seattle had it, but that was it. But another thing I wanted to bring about the XFL is the freaking Tampa Bay Vipers. The Vipers were the other team. They were the favorite to go to the entire championship, and these guys are 1-4. So that dream and those hopes and dreams are no longer present. So you might as well just watch the XFL just to enjoy it. I mean, there's not much else I can say. I mean, that's how I feel about the Dallas Renegades as well. So again, props to these teams stepping it up. Props to the production crew. Props to the entire XFL organization able to generate as many views as most people did not expect. So that'll conclude my episode for today. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this. I mean, again, you'll be able to listen to this on YouTube, Deezer, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Apple, Spotify. This podcast has been distributed everywhere, and like I mentioned in episode 62, that I could not have done this without you guys, and I appreciate that you guys take time out of your day or utilize your free time by listening. So again, that concludes episode 63. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this episode, and I'll see you back on episode 64. Maybe we'll have a guest on there, not sure yet. But if not, you'll just hear from me. And either way, it's going to be entertaining. So you guys have a great day. It's Monday. Own it. And work hard. And continue to wash your hands. Wash your hands. Get enough rest because I don't want that coronavirus spreading everywhere, getting everybody sick. All right. Peace.